This is the Dave Williams Prophecy Briefing, a global update on events pointing to Christ's return and what it means to you. Now, here is award-winning, best-selling author, Dr. Dave Williams.
An unprecedented alignment of last days nations and groups is taking place today. According to the prophets Ezekiel and Daniel, this alignment would take place in what they called the latter times. Now, the specific positioning of many of these nations and groups has never happened before in all of history until now. And many end-time prophecies could not be fulfilled until these nations fell into place. First, Israel. Prophecy teachers of old told us, based on the prophetic scriptures, that when we see Jewish people miraculously going back to their homeland, we would know that we're in the final stretch. Well, it happened 1948. Number two, the European nations, Daniel 2, 7, 8, 9, and 11. There is now emerging a new Europe Confederation that will have an enormous impact on trade, global resources, and eventually could diminish the United Nations' role in global affairs or completely take control of the United Nations. In Daniel 2, we learned that the headquarters of the coming global government will likely begin in Europe, and this alignment has already begun. It's clear the New World Order will originate in sort of a revived Roman Empire. Then we have the Magog nations of Ezekiel 38 and 39. We find an unprecedented alignment of certain nations in the latter times. Russia, also known as Rosh and Magog, Iran, ancient Persia, Turkey, ancient Togarmah, Libya, which is ancient Libya, and Sudan, which is ancient Kush or ancient Ethiopia, not modern Ethiopia, because modern Ethiopia historically has been a Christian nation, but now sandwiched directly between regions of ancient Ethiopia, Kush, which is Sudan to the north and west, and Somalia to the south. These nations are both united in their hatred for Israel, and they've hosted terrorist networks like Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab, known for its murderous slaughters in malls and colleges. Today we find ancient Persia, modern Iran aligning with Russia, and the southern Islamic nations of the former Soviet Union. Russia and Iran, along with these nations I mentioned, will attack Israel in the latter days. Today, Russia is supplying Iran with nuclear technology and assisting in the construction of nuclear power plants. Turkey is experiencing a national fervor to return to the glory days of their Ottoman Empire. They long for the caliphate again. Now, this amazing alignment we're seeing today has never happened in all of history. The prophet Ezekiel gave a clear picture of this end-time alliance coming together for the purpose of invading Israel. Further, in Psalm 83, we find the location, the exact location of all the terrorist groups around Israel today, including Hamas and Hezbollah. Isaiah 17:1 describes the conditions in Syria in the last days, and Jeremiah 49 describes a devastating event coming to ancient Elam, now southwestern Iran, that appears to be a nuclear devastation of some kind, and that's the exact location of the Bashar nuclear power station, the largest in all of Iran. Well, the prophetic list goes on, including China and kings of the East, which likely include North Korea, and it's all happening before our very eyes in this generation. No other generation has ever witnessed so many stage-setting events and bright blinking signs that we could be the last generation. Just looking at the prophetic markers of our day, it tells me that something sudden, dramatic, global, and irreversible may be just on the horizon. I'm Dave Williams, author of Hope in the Last Days, thanking you for joining me today for this prophecy update.
Dave Williams is the author of the book, Hope in the Last Days. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon.com, and Christian bookstores everywhere. Dr. Williams conducts seminars teaching pastors and leaders how to understand and teach Bible prophecy. For more information, visit us at davewilliams.com. We'll look forward to hearing from you, and be sure to join us for the next Dave Williams Prophecy Briefing.